to Thames.
Good boy.
And the City of Oxford Rowing Club against Leander. This is race 16. We're ready to go the 8s now. Cox, hands up still for Leander Club. We're expecting Leander to really show their worth here. Oxford Rowing Club, now the hand goes up of the Cox, Susie Drone. She just wants to hold things up once her two hands are down. Both the Coxes indicate they're ready. Hand goes down for Oxford. Susie Drone happy with her boat. The starter gets them away. City of Oxford Rowing Club on the Berkshire station, to the left of your picture, and on the Buck station we've got Leander Club. Martin has made way, and we've now got Sarah Cook alongside me. Sarah, good morning to you. You must be enjoying the Henley Royal Regatta weather. It's a terrific start to our regatta.
An absolutely fantastic day here in Henley so far. We've seen some brilliant racing and weather as well. As a rower, you don't want much more. I'm
tempted to say it's always like this in Henley, but I know you've been here many times before and won't believe me. It's fabulous conditions out there for the rowers. Grueling conditions perhaps. And having a look at this race, the City of Oxford against Leander, and we're always excited to see Leander Club on the water. And their 8 here, coxed by Sam Royston, have just taken an early advantage, but it's only slender at this stage.
Yes, they've got just an ever so slight lead, about half a length at this early stage in the race, but looking quite composed. Of course, this is the development squad from Leander, so these young athletes no doubt looking to make national squads and teams over the coming years, but both crews really going for it in this early stage to try and get the advantage. It is, of course, so important to try and get an early advantage in this racing, to try and get that mental edge over your competition. Match racing is such a different game to fleet racing, and both crews definitely racing for early domination in the 8s.
Yeah, side-by-side racing, gladiatorial as they always say, and it is Leander have now got up to a length ahead in this one. The Thames Challenge Cup for 8s. We're going to see some terrific action later on. We'll see the first USA crew in action in this particular contest later on. Green Lake crew up against London Club Tideway Scullers. They'll be on the water later on, but in this particular heat, Leander up against the City of Oxford Rowing Club. Slightly hazy.
And they're starting to look quite relaxed now, the Leander crew particularly. Their opposition there, City of Oxford Rowing Club, really going for it. You can see the pain on the strokeman's face, really trying to keep his crew in it. I think they would have known that they had a tough race today to progress through to the next one. Always going up against a club with the pedigree of Leander, you know, it's going to be a tough ask in order to progress. So really trying to hang in there, but we can see the relaxation across that Leander crew now, both in their oar work and in their faces as they're starting to enjoy this race and trying to open up a clear water lead on their competition. But still hanging in there, City of Oxford Rowing Club.
Yeah, they deserve some credit, don't they, City of Oxford? Susie Drowan and her 8 here have hung right in this race. And just looking back on last year, it's the first time we've seen Leander on the water, first opportunity we've had to talk about what an extraordinary year they had, winning the Queen Mother, the Grand, the Remenham, the Stewards. So multiple event winners last year, but this Leander Club boat, they've got their work cut out against City of Oxford Rowing Club at the moment.
And it's quite a different spread of athletes that we have in these two boats. In the City of Oxford Rowing Club boat, we've got the youngest is Tom Rushton, who is 23 years of age in the 2-seat, while the Cox is 50 years of age, whereas over in the Leander Club boat, you're looking at a development group of athletes, so very strong, fit young men, but quite a spread in the City of Oxford Rowing Club, so different pedigrees for those two boats, but City of Oxford doing a fantastic job to hang in there at this stage in the race, and Leander really starting to row quite confidently now. We can see their blade work. I think they're looking a lot more polished as the race goes on. They're a little bit scrappy in the early stages. They were trying to get that early lead, but really relaxing on it now, and it's so much easier to look back at a crew behind you and feel confident and happy with your rowing.
Yeah, Leander have got Oxford exactly where they want them, in their sights just behind. And they've got a couple of lengths advantage now, Leander, as they head in front of the big enclosures, the grandstands. In the sunshine, they've got a couple of lengths lead on Oxford Rowing Club now. And it's great experience for these young athletes. Some of them you'll see in international regattas in years to come. It's a big day out for them. They'll have trained on this stretch of water. You can almost make out their clubhouse in the distance opposite the church in that aerial shot. That's where they're based, Leander.
And some fantastic views that we have of this racing. Most of these athletes would have never seen these views of their rowing before. It's absolutely amazing, especially the views from above, looking at their blade work. And I think that's where we get a real sense of how polished this Leander crew is starting to look. You can see their blade work, the unison, the area that they're able to reach out to each stroke. They're really, you can see why they're starting to move ahead now as they start to get a bit smoother, a bit more confident with each stroke. They know that they're starting to take this race by the scruff of the neck as they pass the mile mark.
You see Cam Murray in the bow seat there, nearest in your shot. Very slick outfit, as you'd expect from a club of Leander's pedigree. And still the Cox, Sam Royston, shouting the instructions. A little glance over his left shoulder there. Do you see that? To just check on Oxford's stroke rate and their whereabouts. Check they're not putting in an unexpected surge. I think that Leander have got this race sewn up, but Oxford Rowing Club, give them credit, they're still in touch.
That's right, they're doing a fantastic job. They do have the rate up a little bit. There is just a little bit more aggression in that City of Oxford Rowing Club. They're having to work just that little bit harder than Leander at this stage to stay in touch, but a fantastic effort by them and a great race. But there we have Leander on screen, looking very polished now as they come down towards the end of the race. We know that in the 8, it's so critical to try and get that advantage. We could see earlier in the racing, they were really going hammer and tong at each other to try and get the advantage. It's not only important in 8 racing, but even more so in match racing, as we said, to get that advantage. And Leander really had to work hard over City of Oxford. They weren't going to have it all their way. They had to work hard to get that early lead and then to get that look back on your competitor, to be able to make a move. If you see the crew behind you start to make a move, it really is the way to control a match race.
And they have controlled that. That's exactly what they've done, Sarah. As they head to the line now, Leander just pacing themselves a bit. They'll be trying to conserve some energy for the later rounds of the Thames Challenge Cup. As they head now to the last few strokes of the race. It's victory for Leander Club in round 1 of the Thames Challenge Cup against the City of Oxford Rowing Club, who cross the line now. And that was a pretty near perfect performance from Leander Club, who have got energy to spare. You can see from their facial expressions there, didn't take too much out of them, and they'll be here to fight through the rounds as of tomorrow.